Hello everyone, hope you're feeling good. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be with one of our newest customers in Europe, a project that just went live 5 weeks ago, 29th of February. We will celebrate that every 4 years now. So, I'm not going to talk so much about the project. I'll let the guys, because they are the stars of the show. It's a project that's very close to my heart. Been involved in it for the last 16, 18 months, I believe, from the beginning. So, Nils, Leszek, please feel free to take over.
Okay. Yes, thanks, Catalin. I will stand up because then speaking is a little bit easier for me. Hello together. My name is Nils. I'm responsible at OBI for the product organization and for what we call the transactional platform. I will give you some details on that. In a minute, I will do the first part and then going fast to Leszek, who is the expert of our architectural approach, and he will give you some insights about not only what we did, but how we did it together with VTEX. Okay, this is for the slides. Yes. Okay, so first of all, maybe who is OBI? OBI, for the last 50 years, is one of the leading European DIY retailers. Our 40,000 employees serving our customers in over 10 countries, concentrating in Middle and Eastern Europe. And you know, we really committed to our local presence, of course, on the one hand, and serve our customers of our local presence. But on the same time, we realized that, of course, our growth will be only possible as a digital growth. Therefore, we were keen to set up a digital platform, giving us the chance to do both. Our omni-channel business on the one hand, which we were doing for the last 10, 15 years, already quite successful. And on the other hand, to connect our new partners, so have a marketplace in place to connect our customers with experts on the DIY market. Doing this, our brand recognition is something which is really, really important because nearly everybody in Germany knows OBI. So having this trust, having this visibility at our customers just because of our brand gives us a huge opportunity, a huge asset, which we really want to use within our digital platform to connect, on the one hand, partners, and on the other hand, our customers. In doing this, we follow our mission. We enable you. You know, it's in DIY. It's not only to offer your customers do it yourself, but we have to focus on do it together, do it for me. So really enable our customers in solving their projects, their demands when it comes to home and garden. And that is, of course, much more than just do it yourself. So we are aiming to provide solutions. So we are aiming to provide consultancy for our customers to even scale our DIY knowledge to our customers to be really like the number one destination for home and garden in Europe. And of course, that's far above just being a big box player and just selling products. So there are so many things and so many complexities within the DIY and home and garden. So everybody of you knows that doing a project in your home and garden will need some knowledge, and we really want to provide this to our customers to reach our goals. Yeah, one of our strategic pillars to be the number one destination in Europe is the partnering model. And as I said, it is for us the the logic to connect our customers with different experts, because the DIY market is such heterogeneous. So you have so many use cases which goes far beyond just selling products. If it comes to solar installations or energetical renovation of your house and so on, that is much more complicated to for our customers, and we want to solve this, and we used to set a platform which can deliver both our existing retail business and the marketplace as well. So where we were coming from is quite quite interesting to know. We were having a outdated e-commerce platform. So 14 years is a long while to operate an e-commerce environment, and of course it was outdated. It was not able to scale. We were quite slow. Of course, we couldn't work in teams. We couldn't deploy independently. Of course, not the basis to reach our strategic targets. So we searched for a service provider and decided for VTEX to really have a scalable platform which covers all the capabilities, but really be high connectivity, so API driven, that we are able to connect new business models, further service providers with this platform to be faster and scalable at once. Along this specific step, and we went just live 5 weeks ago, we oriented ourselves on our what we call vision for a transactional platform, because the go live of this platform was just the first step for us to have really like a platform in place which covers all transactional capabilities, starting with the checkout when it comes to payment, order management, and so on, customer care, of course. What is quite important for us as a retailer, because we were coming from a very decentralized approach, 350 stores in Germany, a decentralized order management in every store. So for customer, not easy to really like having a one-phase experience. And that is exactly what we're aiming here for. And we just made the first step. It was a big one. It was a big milestone. But yeah, that is more or less the vision we are heading to. And that is just the first step we made. Coming to capabilities, maybe some details on this. We have delivered the integration of 350 stores for pickup, for research online purchase offline reasons. And on the same way, we have delivered within VTEX our whole fulfillment landscape. So including central warehouse delivery, including ship from our stores to customers, and including over 300 different dropship suppliers, which gives us today the opportunity to have our own retail catalog on this platform. And secondly, of course, the marketplace capabilities in parallel, and of course quite new for us, still I think evolving capabilities, seller onboarding, assortment integration, payment on behalf of capabilities, something where we are quite proud of, because we are not doing this only for our digital commerce, we are doing this on the same day for our POS business as well. So that gives us a lot of opportunity when it comes to payments, not only on a digital, but of course on a local point of sale. Commission calculation, a new first level platform for customer care to have full transparency on all orders. So yes, that was what we were doing in the last 1.5 years. Very, very challenging, to be honest. I think a lot of complexities within such a retailer and such an sometimes old-fashioned retailer, to be honest. But coming together with VTEX was the right choice to set this up. And I think maybe the good step to give over to Leszek, that you can give us some details on how we did this.
Thank you, Nils. Hi everybody, my name is Leszek. I'm head of engineering for the customer transaction department. As Nils already mentioned, our transactional platform is something that we built up. We had the opportunity with VTEX to do this to some extent as a greenfield project. I'll just go to the next slide. Keeping in mind, though, that we wanted to replace our previous e-commerce backbone and at the same time enhance it with marketplace capabilities to grow a new business model for OBI and for our customers. So there were basically two main challenges that we had, and I'll just briefly talk about this on a very high level. So looking at it first from a seller's perspective, because we treat all of our stores and our e-commerce as an individual seller. So they're set up as white label sellers in VTEX, because what we want to avoid, and we are quite good at that, we always think OBI in a very unique way, but we wanted to stick to a standard as much as possible. So we had to go through that pain and set it up. Any store is like any regular seller, and any additional third-party seller, and we're ramping this up as we speak basically, will behave for most of the capabilities in the same way, because that makes it easy to streamline processes. Yeah, on the one hand side, you have a lot about product offer. You need to get the products into the system, into the catalog, to make sure you can offer this to your customers. We had quite a few challenges with that. I was just asking Nils about actually how many categories did we have. Currently we have over 1,000 categories. We did have even more, but via classification we reduced this already. But this actually is a challenge to this day for other sellers to connect, because they need to make sure that they align with all the categories that we have. Going to pricing, making sure that a lot of different prices, because we have a franchise business as well, so prices change, they're not globally in e-commerce and in the stores. Having a system set up that can deal with this, having a lot of stock changes, price changes, and keeping the system up to date. I think those are some of those challenges in the journey. Filling your catalog, then obviously your customer will hopefully buy, and then you need to make sure you fulfill properly, right? And there's also important that we make sure that not only OBI is able to fulfill as easy as possible, but also the third-party sellers are connected and can use their processes to fulfill the orders of the customers. Also some challenges there as well. We do have a strong dropshipping business. This also then impacts making sure that you have all the delivery times for products, because for each product you could possibly have several delivery times depending who is fulfilling. At the same time, commission management has been something we invested a lot to make sure that the commissions are divided properly, but even more importantly, reverse transaction for partly returned orders, then the commission gets paid back as well. I don't want to go too much into that detail. Looking at the customer journey, maybe also a bit of a high-level picture there. Basically, we have 4 IT principles that guide us. You can see them on the right-hand side. API first, which is really easy to do with VTEX at hand. Cloud first, everything is hosted in AWS. And developer experience, very important for us because we want to gain time to market, which means changing to a system coming from an old monolithic system that made it really difficult to deploy quickly. We now have seamless integration, continuous deployment, and that is very important to us, as well as building for replacement. So there you can actually see the different layers that we have. So entering from different sales channels, We have our front ends and back end for front ends that serve our customers, PDP pages, checkout, that we all built up by ourselves. So we did not use many of the integrations that VTEX provides, because we do have quite some unique capabilities that we need to make sure we can provide to our customers. And also keeping in mind, we had to replace the previous system, which means our customers also used to some of the experiences that they have. So you cannot cut too much, otherwise you might risk your user experience. So we did nonetheless. I'll come back to that a bit later. Yeah, and then obviously security layer, event layer via Kafka to decouple as much as possible. And also in the TRX service layer that we created to make sure that we use our domain language for any other services to connect to, that they understand it, so they don't necessarily have to know how VTEX operates, because we capture this. And then obviously feeding everything into VTEX. So maybe one of the last slides, why am I showing this? This is actually something we are very proud of, to be honest. We were thinking about how do we go live? Because we've been talking about this for a while, had some difficulties to decide. We always were looking for like a big bang, like, let's go live and make this happen, but we also have seen that is a huge risk, obviously. You don't want to risk your business at once. So we decided for a traffic share strategy to make sure we can increase the traffic share bit by bit by bit and actually learn as we go along on the one hand side, and also have the possibility to enhance our features, because along the way we still didn't have all the necessary features. But if you start with 1%, as you can see in December, and then going to 2%, it's maybe okay-ish to have some features missing, but you know you need them for 100% or even 50%. Like, hey, OB special price was something that we need to offer our customers, but for 1% we could live without it. As you can also see, there are some red crosses, so those were actually some of the harder learnings that we had. So initially, the first one was intended. We said, let's go live, but only for a couple of hours. Let's analyze what's happening. Let's see how our monitoring works. Let's see how the processes work. And then from there derive whether we can go live. So we had basically a daily steering to decide how much do we increase? Is everybody fine? Can we do the next step? So we slightly increased bit by bit by bit. First weekend we also said, well, let's not be live then, because we also it's been a challenging project. So we said, okay, the first weekend let's get some good night's sleep. And I think the VTEX guys know the go live days. Mick is nodding. We've been in the offices for long hours and pushing everybody to make this happen. And actually everybody was very, very driven to do this. So therefore, and then we also said, like, it's Christmas season, come on. It will be a lot of operational effort. Let's have a lot of, and let's have a relaxing time with our families. And then as you can see, we gradually increased bit by bit by bit. In February, we were more and more confident. We've seen, though, that some of the processes, the back-end processes, have been still manually, and therefore, the more orders come in, the more people get blocked by doing manual stuff. So we actually had to slow down a bit. But once this was solved, we've actually seen that we gained a lot of confidence. So within the last, I would say, 10 days or so, we started from 20% all the way to the go live without looking back, actually. And funny story that I actually like to tell. So on a Thursday, February 29th, we had our go live. In the afternoon, we were partying a bit. We had a drink, and our CEO came by. He had a meeting in the office, and he wanted to encourage us, to do the last steps, because he was under the impression that we're going live the next day. So we all told, he started talking, and then we said, well, actually, we are already live. So that was so brilliant because it was very, very smooth and silent, and nobody actually, and no big troubles at all. So indeed, something maybe a learning for some of you as well, if in a similar situation. And in the very last slide, I think that might be something that's interesting for the developers. A brief look at the tools that we're using to make sure that we are on a top-notch level in terms of the tools and tech stack, because what we want to avoid is to have a system going for another 14 years and having difficulties to continue development. So therefore, I think that's a very, very solid basis that we've built up for our e-commerce and also for the other retail parts. So that's about it. OBI, Nils mentioned OBI as a strong brand. You can also see the beaver, which is our mascot, and a lot of people know them. I have a small niece. So when she sees the store, she sees the color orange, she remembers the beaver, she actually has one. Therefore, we actually built a lot of brand awareness right from the start. And the QR code is to our website, so if you want to take a look at it, it's in German though, but I think you get an impression what we're trying to sell and how we are trying to serve our customers to make sure that they get the best products and solutions for making their project happen around their house and their gardens. Thanks a lot for that. And if you have any questions, please go ahead.
So you look like to have a really complex way to fulfill the orders. Can you hear me?
Yeah, a bit.
And also, like, you have drop shipping and everything. You manage the shipping dates and the SLA for the clients inside VTEX or outside VTEX?
Inside VTEX. So the SLA for all the franchise accounts, the 350 that represents the stores, as well as the drop shippers, as well as the external sellers, are all managed within our logistic capabilities.
And to be honest, that's something where I really want to make even progress in the next months, because I'm really impressed on some out-of-the-box features in the logistics module of VTEX, and we really want to leverage this and use this.
Hello. During the traffic share phase of the implementation, did you guys have some process to synchronize the backend data? For instance, for the Hybris to the VTEX system, how when you have an order, you have some synchronization between old and new systems?
So basically, all the data, either from the Hybris customers using the Hybris shop or our transactional platform, has all but then afterwards been fed into our ERP system. And if you log in and you go into your account, you see your orders. We made sure that we grab the orders from both systems. They have been then served via Kafka topic into that particular service. So we were able to actually have two systems in parallel without having the necessity to synchronize a lot.
But it really turns out to work really good. So the efforts, I was, to be honest, a little bit frightened regarding this approach, because sometimes it's much more complicated to fulfill such an approach than you earn in getting there. So, but it went out really good. It was not that complicated that it seemed to me before. People did a good job in this, it seems so, and it was really like to mitigate our risk, because of course for a DIY player now it is our high season. It is spring in Germany, everybody is carrying out for his garden, and so the platform needs to be very stable and very performant. And that was the only thing how we can go there.
Thank you, guys.
And also to have a boring go live. I mean, I think it was more difficult to do the 1% than to do the 100%.
Yes, right. So in the end, nobody cares, you know. if we do the full go live, everybody was aware. Okay, that will work out, because the 30, 40, 60% work out, and that there you're gaining such a lot of experience and enough experience that even makes it not a big deal to go on the 100.
At 1%, we are fixing some stuff at 2 a.m. At 100%, we are drinking beer at 4. So
yeah, right.
And yesterday we had a session and somebody was asking, isn't that a big risk, and why did you have to go live before spring season? And actually that was one of the reasons why we pushed for this so hard, because with the marketplace capabilities and the additional revenue that we can make with third-party sellers, this was something that we wanted to get out before the spring season, so we can actually gain more revenue on that and provide also more solutions to our customers as well.
Hello. How did you manage the difference between data from both platforms, like data structure between platforms like order, product management? I don't know if you get my question, but how did you manage the difference between data structure from the one platform to another one and bring all orders together from different platforms?
I think it's quite similar to the question before. If I've understood it correctly, please add if I'm talking nonsense. Basically, what we did, we tried to unify the data that we have in our ERP system. So translate from what comes out of the VTEX OMS and then transfer it into our ERP system. So for the ERP system, it doesn't matter where it comes from. The order looks the same, it can be processed in the same way, and then we can decide into which channel we do returns, etc. So that made it quite easy. That was then the effort to make sure that we translate this properly, but then the rest was the easier part.
And the same for the offer. Right? Not only when the order was created, but we had one article broker, we call it. So it pushes all the article information, including stock and so on, to the platform. And it just was delivering to both platforms, this one and this one. And stock was counting down, of course. But in the end, you will not get a full synchronization at all times. So, of course, we had some cancellations because of stock variations, but it was really like very, very low.
Hello guys. Did you use any specific tool to do the...
Can you speak up a bit, maybe closer to your mouth?
Better? Nice. Do you guys use any specific tool to do the traffic separation, like some front-end new tool to separate each public will see each system?
I think
if you use any specific tools to separate the traffic between the go live phase.
Yeah. Basically, what we did is when we separated the traffic, we set a cookie for the ones visiting the store. So whenever you return to the store, to OBDA, from the same device, you would still get the same, you would still access the same platform. That was important to us because otherwise people would be going back and forth. You might lose your card, which would be a disaster, obviously. So we made sure that we set a proper cookie. And at the same time, we also ensured that we have we called it kill switch, and we had to use it once actually because it was so difficult. So we were able to delete all the cookies and nobody was able to access the new platform until we were able to solve an issue. So that was technically that's how we did it. All right, then
Thank
thank
you.
you everybody. All right. Thank you, everybody, and thanks also to VTEX for all the support that we had. There are quite a few colleagues here, and also giving us the opportunity to be at the VTEX days and meeting so many people, learning so much more about other solutions, other implementations, things we can adapt. Yeah, and thanks to the audience as well.
Thank you.